Despite escaping Nazi Germany, Henry Winkler's parents called him dumb dog. Shame plagued his youth. School was hell. He struggled in arithmetic and reading. Hollywood followed. It was hard for him to ride his famous motorcycle. His caste relationships were not what they seemed. Strange TV executive decisions affected his life forever. The real story of Henry Winkler would crush millions' hearts. Winkler was born in Manhattan on October 30, 1945. His parents left Nazi Germany in 1939. Just in time, they abandoned everything. He lost his uncle. He was delayed and died in the Holocaust. The family never forgot that catastrophe. It loomed over Henry's boyhood. His father rebuilt their New York lumber business. His mother worked there. Money and education provided safety, they felt. Henry didn't suit their scheme. He didn't understand school. Despite his efforts, nothing worked. He got bad grades. The reason puzzled his parents. When he failed, they labeled him dumb dog. They removed his TV, banned him from going out, and punished him repeatedly. He wasn't lazy. He couldn't describe the issue. His home wasn't peaceful. His parents battled constantly. Home was crowded with loud disputes. Henry felt small, like he could never accomplish anything correctly. By high school he was ashamed. He thought he was stupid. Nobody knew he had dyslexia. His reading was poor. He couldn't spell. Math was awful. Teachers sent him to the corner. He stuttered over words, and classmates chuckled. He never disclosed the pain. He was unaware of his illness. It wasn't revealed until 31. His stepson was diagnosed first. Henry finally understood. It wasn't his fault. Later he said, "I wasn't stupid. My object was named." That moment changed everything. It explained why school was always hard, and why he had to remember instead of read. Something inside him refused to give up before that. At 14 he chose. His dream was to act. His parents disliked that. They wanted him in the family business. Acting felt different. When he performed, humiliation vanished. His lostness was gone. A school drama featured him as Billy Budd in 8th grade. People applauded. His heart wasn't broken for once. He remembered that applause. He pursued that feeling. He improved script memorization. He concealed his reading difficulties. In high school he avoided writing by participating in conversations. Even in class he performed well. He shielded himself with charm. He kept going after graduation. Only 2 of 28 colleges accepted him. Emerson College in Boston was one. He studied theater at Emerson. For backup he studied child psychology. He almost failed the first 2 years. Then something clicked on stage. Starred in Peter Gynt. His teachers recognized talent that conventional classes couldn't. He joined a fraternity, made acquaintances, and gained confidence. Graduated in 1967. Many years later, the same school awarded him an honorary degree. He went bigger that year. Yale Drama School. A long shot. The audition was hard. Shakespeare had to be performed. But his thoughts blanked when it was time. Totally forgot every line. He did something daring. He improvised. Made up on the spot. Worked somehow. The judges spotted his raw potential. He was accepted. The respite he needed. Pressure was high at Yale. Writing scripts was challenging. Reading them took days. But he continued. He relied on recollection and instinct. He confidently improvised when he forgot. Teacher didn't notice. Classmates admired his vitality. He later admitted to never reading a script exactly. He did what worked. He received his MFA in 1970. Only 11 of 25 performers completed the training. He was one. He was chosen for Yale Repertory Theater that year. Just 3 students got their chance. He earned $173/week. The shows were tough. Shakespeare, Brecht, modern experimental plays. He played everything. He worked ceaselessly. It was ideal training field. Even then, dyslexia was masked. He had the worst time preparing. He took days to memorize what others read in hours. He improvised when scripts failed. He became so good that no one noticed. When he performed in Neil Simon productions, he requested the script months in advance. He coped that way. Henry Winkler believed his breakthrough had arrived in October 1971. He played Moon Children at the Arena Stage in Washington, D.C. After a consistent run at the Yale Repertory Theater, earning $173 a week. However, the dream became a nightmare. Alan Schneider, the director, fired him after 3 weeks of rehearsals. Reason cut deep. Winkler was never meant to stay. His role was temporary until the director's intended actor became available. Shocked Winkler. Later he said his head had turned to cream cheese, and the director's remarks seemed distant. In tears he packed his snow tires back into his car and went to New York City. That lonely trek home wasn't only about losing a job, about losing faith. He wondered whether he wasn't good enough. Maybe he'd never act again. Winkler refused to quit. His strategy was made in New York. Maybe advertisements could cover the expenses if legitimate theater couldn't. He had about 30 ads between 1971 and 1973. It wasn't fancy, yet it gave him stable income, which every performer needs. That cushion got him into the Manhattan Theater Club and free performances. Money wasn't important anymore. Getting better, remaining in the game, and proving oneself were the goals. Off the Wall New York, an improv group, also accepted him. Smart move. Commercials liberated him. Theater gave him credibility, and improv challenged him like writing never could. It fostered his growth in all directions. His Broadway shot followed. Winkler debuted on Broadway in 42 Seconds from Broadway on March 11, 1973. That moment would be memorable for most actors, but this one was memorable for the wrong reason. Show opened and closed the same night. Just one show. Hope, effort, and dreams built up for years went in less than 24 hours. Winkler vowed to himself he would fix that eventually. He wouldn't allow a one-night flop define him. His film career began that year. He appeared in The Lords of Flatbush, a gritty 1950s Brooklyn greaser drama. Winkler portrayed Butchie Weinstein, and Sylvester Stallone was a newcomer. Low-budget picture gave him screen time and experience. He played Manny and Crazy Joe at the same time. Though hardly Hollywood blockbusters, these mattered. He got a new direction. Due to undiagnosed dyslexia, he struggled with auditions, especially cold readings. But he got around it. He developed his own script comprehension and emotion display. Jobs continued coming because people could see his natural potential, hidden behind silent worry, yet unmistakable. That summer, something unexpected occurred. His agent pushed him to Hollywood. Winkler didn't find it suitable. He considered himself a stage-trained New York actor. He eventually agreed to try Los Angeles for a month as a trial. The trip was funded by his ads and supported by his friend Perry King. Their flight arrived in L.A. on September 18, 1973. Within 5 days, everything changed. Winkler guest starred on Mary Tyler Moore. It was modest, yet it aired on a national hit show. That opened the door. Auditions followed. Interest rose. Hollywood suddenly felt closer. A second audition followed that awful dinner guest role. A second audition was for Joyous Days. Only 6 lines were there. He wasn't what creators wanted. A tall blonde stud was desired. Winkler was 5'6", dark-haired, and nothing like that. He was brought back for another try. He entered the room on his birthday, October 30th, put on a leather jacket, changed his voice, read the lines, threw the script in the air, and left without saying a word. The whole room stared. The call came later that day. The job was his. He requested one thing. He didn't want to act cool. He wanted to portray this character's heart. That daring audition got him the job, and changed television history. Back in January 1974, Winkler's Fonzie was supposed to be a sidekick in Happy Days. In the first episode, the screenplay instructed him to stand in front of a mirror and comb his hair like every 1950s greaser. That seemed too obvious to Winkler. When the cameras rolled, he raised the comb, glanced in the mirror, nodded like a king, and put it away. His point was clear. Fonzie didn't need hairstyling. Perfect already. Winkler stood firm despite producer resistance. That tiny move defined Fonzie's appeal. quiet, assured, and effortlessly cool. Instinct turned the character from background to star. That cool image almost never took off due of his jacket. The network worried that Fonzie wearing leather would make him look criminal. Throughout the first season, Winkler wore textile jackets, including a garish green one. Gary Marshall, show director, had a thought. For safety, he convinced ABC that Fonzie could wear leather if he was near his motorcycle. Marshall added Fonzie's motorcycle to most scenes. Sometimes it made no sense but worked. By season 2, the leather jacket was permanent. In 1980, Winkler donated one to the Smithsonian, where it remains a famous component of American pop culture. However, that motorcycle had a secret. No, Henry Winkler couldn't ride it. He was afraid of motorcycles. He only rode it uphill once. It ended after 17 seconds. On set, they requested him to move the bike a few feet. Dyslexia prevented him from distinguishing the controls. Turning the throttle, he couldn't find the brake and accelerated. Camera crew dove away. Bicycle and rider slid under a truck. Producers came over to check if the rental bike was damaged, not him. After that, they invented a trick. On a wooden board with rubber wheels, they towed the motorcycle like a toddler in a wagon. Ironically, the bike was famous. Steve McQueen used it in The Great Escape. When Happy Days began in January 1974, Fonzie was never meant to shine. He just had 6 lines in the pilot. Ron Howard's Richie Cunningham was meant to be the spotlight. In December of that year, everything changed. A Christmas episode featured Fonzie, and the audience went berserk. Over 20,000 shouting fans flocked to a Dallas department shop to meet Winkler during a press tour. The ratings soared. ABC viewed the numbers, reshaped the show around Fonzie. They considered calling it Fonzie's Happy Days. By season 3, he led. The network gifted all cast members matching wallets for Christmas. Winkler acquired a costly VCR. Ron Howard later expressed feeling marginalized on his show. But Fonzie grew. His leather jacket is in the Smithsonian. Every home repeated his catchphrases, and sit on it. Television Guide named him the 4th greatest TV character of 1999. The 1984 ending of Happy Days made Henry Winkler a national celebrity. After the cameras stopped rolling, his phone stopped ringing. No one hired him for nearly 10 years. His only identity was the Fonz. Directors couldn't look past the leather jacket catchphrases or cool guy image. Henry stated it created excruciating mental pain. Despite having a loving family and a roof, he felt lost. He declined the Greek lead to prevent typecasting. It didn't matter. In every audition room, only Fonzie was seen. It broke him. Henry persisted. Instead, he turned. In his joyful days, he quietly founded Fair Dinkum Productions. In 1987, he signed with a large studio. He no longer pretended. He made real projects. In 1991, MacGyver earned a Genesis Award for its phenomenal success. He also made sightings seem real and strange. His name returned to the credits, but behind the camera, that was enough to keep him playing. Directing was his next step. In 1988, he directed Billy Crystal in The Touching Memories of Me. 5 years later, he directed Burt Reynolds in Cop and a Half. Ron Howard's business made it, but it wasn't a hit. His longtime friend from Happy Days, Ron Howard, Henry was proving himself again, sans the Fonz. Slowly. Meanwhile, something unexpected occurred. Emmy winner, not for acting. It was for directing and producing a 1984 CBS school break program with Scott Baio. He won a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Children's Program for tackling serious teen themes. A lifeline. In secret, Hollywood was appreciating his talent but rejecting him as an actor. He continued winning honors in children's programs. His Fonziness didn't matter. They knew he could tell tales. His personal life was stable throughout. 1978 saw Henry marry Stacy Weitzman. Jed, her small kid, liked Fonzie before Henry arrived. More children followed. Zoe in 1980 and Max in 1983. After decades, they had 6 grandchildren. Ace 11 collects shot glasses from every city grandpa visits with Henry. Henry loves treating them to shows and restaurants. He stated listening, not just loving, is the key to their marriage. Henry hid a childhood wound behind his charm and success. When Jed struggled with a school assignment one night, Henry advised him to rise to the occasion, unsettlingly familiar. Jed was tried by him and Stacy. A diagnosis: dyslexia. Instantly everything clicked. Henry recognized he had it at 31. All those years of school struggles, yelling, embarrassment, and self-doubt. It wasn't lazy. It had a name. He was mad. All my suffering was for nothing, he said. He had been quietly failing at table reads, missing lines, stumbling through scripts, and felt like a phony while playing the coolest man on TV. His parents, who escaped Nazi Germany, anticipated excellence. Instead, they dubbed him foolish and lazy. He now realized the truth was totally different. This altered him. Not only did the diagnosis heal him, it drove him. Zoe and Max, his children, were also diagnosed. He loudly advocated for dyslexia awareness to prevent other kids from going through what he did. Then he went further. Henry and Stacy founded the Children's Action Network with Steven Spielberg and Kate Capshaw in 1990. Their goal is to immunize and adopt children. Nearly time, they immunized nearly 200,000 youngsters. That work earned them the Norma Zarki Humanitarian Award. Not only did Henry survive Hollywood, he made it serve a greater purpose. Next came Adam Sandler. Sandler performed the Chenuka song on Saturday Night Live on December 3, 1994, mentioning Fonzie as one-quarter Jewish. Little joke altered everything. Henry contacted Sandler to thank him. From that call came friendship. That friendship saved me. 4 years later, it saved his career. Disaster struck in 1998 while Sandler was shooting The Waterboy. At the last minute, his coach Klein actor left. Sandler panicked and called Winkler around 11:30 p.m. "I need a favor, Henry." Winkler acted immediately. After shaving, he headed to the scene and waited in makeup until 3:30 a.m. Box office exploded after that nighttime run. The Waterboy grossed $190 million worldwide on a $20 million budget. It was wild. Though Sandler offered his adult co-stars Maseratis, Winkler quipped that he got a cookie. But the true gift was something else. He returned. Sandler played many roles after that one. He appeared in Little Nicky, Click, You Don't Mess with the Zohan, and Sandy Wexler. It wasn't just humor. Finally having space to act opened new opportunities for Winkler. Arrested Development brought him fresh fame in 2003. Originally scheduled to appear once, Barry Zuckerkorn, a comically bad lawyer, became a regular. Over 5 years, Winkler appeared in 32 episodes. The show has clever in-jokes. Barry jumped over a shark on a pier, mimicking the Fonzie event that coined the term jumping the shark. They replaced Barry with Scott Baio, like in Happy Days. Baio stated that "I've replaced Barry before." Fans adored it. Winkler returned to humor but also showed his serious chops. He played Dr. Henry Olsen, a serious emotional part, on The Practice from 1999 to 2000. His first major nomination in nearly 20 years was an Emmy. It came as he struggled to escape Fonzie's shadow. It works, but Winkler kept surprising. In Parks and Recreation he played Dr. Lou Saperstein, a naive, overly devoted father to two of the show's strangest characters. He supported Jean Ralphiote and Mona Lisa's chaos. When Mona Lisa shouted, "I've never done wrong," he responded instantly, "I know and love you." His parenting was awful, but that was wonderful humor. He even tried to harm Tom Haverford's business using a lie his kids told him. In the climax, he helped them fake a death to open a Tajikistan casino. Only Winkler could make such crazed support funny and convincing. Behind the camera, something else occurred. He signed a minor agreement to create 2 children's books in 2003. 2 books became a franchise. Hank Zipser, a dyslexic youngster series, was published 17 times. Then Here's Hank with 12 more. Then Ghost Buddies, Alien Superstar and Detective Duck, total 38 novels. BBC aired Hank Zipser with Winkler as Mr. Rock, based on a childhood helper. The 2016 Christmas special broadcast, HBO Max started broadcasting everything in 2022. Dyslexic youth around the world heard his stories. Barry followed. Bill Hader invited HBO to audition Winkler in 2016. When Winkler heard, he prepared with son Max. Character Gene Cousineau was supposed to be chilly and cynical. Winkler played the role with heart. He made Gene more human, selfish but heartfelt. He won his first Emmy in 2018 for that performance. He waited 43 years. "I composed this 43 years ago," he stated on stage. Crowds stood. He said that the chips come to you if you stay long enough at the table. "Tonight I cleared the table." He spoke for 19 seconds but made every second count. The epidemic delayed Barry's third season. March 2020 marked the end of production. Restarting took 2 years. Filming continued in 2022 with Winkler in his mid-70s and under strict COVID guidelines. A smaller crew, regular testing and no audience. But it was worthwhile. Season 3 received high praise. Winkler consistently delivered stunning performances, blending dark comedy and emotion. Awards followed. Critics' Choice wins twice, 4 Emmy, 4 Sage, and 3 Globe nominations. Gene's complex anguish, guilt and growth made him a TV icon. Henry Winkler experienced something extraordinary in September 2011. The British Empire's most prestigious order, the OBE, was awarded by Queen Elizabeth II. Few Americans get that. But Winkler didn't win for acting. He received it for aiding UK dyslexic and learning disabled children. There was more than one visit. He worked with British schools for years. He was the brand ambassador for My Way, which illustrated how kids learn differently. It had government support. First News, a children's newspaper, organized it. Winkler understood the fight and was moved by this cause. He was diagnosed with dyslexia at 31. He wasn't just another star when he spoke to youngsters at Howard Primary in Croydon or in Belfast. He had experienced it. Kids listened because someone resembled them. His message was basic, not broken. You learn differently. Experience-based message left a mark. The OBE went beyond fame. His impact on lives was key. That empathy extends to his own life. Winkler felt misunderstood as a child. Years of undiagnosed dyslexia influenced his parents' treatment of him. After becoming a father, he changed everything. 1978 saw his marriage to Stacy Weitzman. Zoe, born in 1980, Max, born in 1983, and Jed, Stacy's from a prior relationship, were their children. "I appreciate being able to listen and not reproduce my parents," said Winkler. This shows in how he treats his grandchildren. He has 6 now. India, Ace, Lulu, Jules, Gus, Francis, Joan, with a 7th on the way. Winkler doesn't just take Ace to McDonald's. He phones Ace's mother, Zoe, to ask if it's okay. He respects her parenting. Max's narrative stuck with Winkler. Max did homework to music. At first Henry didn't understand. Then he thought maybe the music wasn't distracting. Maybe it helped Max tune out the world. That altered his learning philosophy. Like him, he realized that his kids focused differently. Zoe struggled too, last in her class to learn to read. Today she teaches preschool in Santa Monica. She made that struggle powerful. Winkler loves beyond grades and roles. His grandchild likes Barbies and clothes. This may raise eyebrows. Winkler doesn't. He smiles and adds, "Get in the canoe and paddle down the river." He finds it easy. Every youngster should be loved as is.